Light is Britain's far-right conspiracy theory paper spreading hate and vicious lies. No, that's what the BBC say. The Light is the only national newspaper bringing you the real news and informed opinion on what's really going on today. You can subscribe, order copies, submit articles, and read back issues on our website, thelightpaper.co.uk, and see for yourself why the establishment are so worried about the uncensored truth getting out to people every month. The Light Paper. Not far right, just right so far. thelightpaper.co.uk.
Scene script. Have you ever pondered the idea of financial independence and early retirement? The notion of not having to clock in at 9 or wrestle with the daily grind? Imagine a life where you're not shackled by financial obligations or a demanding job. It's not an impossible dream, but a reality for those who embrace the FIRE movement. That's financial independence, retire early. Consider the tale of Jane, a woman in her early 30s. Jane was an ordinary person living an ordinary life. She had a 9-to-5 job, a mortgage, car payments, and a lifestyle that was comfortable but hardly extravagant. And like most people, she dreamed of a life where she didn't have to worry about money. Jane decided to make a change. She began by cutting back on non-essential expenses, saving as much of her income as possible. She invested wisely, focusing on assets that generated passive income that didn't require her to trade time for money. Slowly but surely, Jane began to build her financial independence. She was still working, but she was no longer living paycheck to paycheck. She had a safety net, a cushion that gave her the freedom to make choices based on what she wanted, not what she needed. Fast forward 10 years, Jane, now in her early 40s, had achieved her goal. She was financially independent. She had enough passive income to cover her living expenses, and she no longer needed to work to survive. She was free to retire early, to spend her time as she pleased. Jane's story may seem extraordinary, but it's not unique. It's the story of anyone who has embraced the principles of the FIRE movement. It's a tale of discipline, of sacrifice, and of a relentless pursuit of financial independence. To summarize, the key points discussed today revolve around the idea of financial independence and early retirement. It requires discipline and sacrifice, cutting back on non-essential expenses and saving as much as possible. It involves investing wisely, focusing on assets that generate passive income. But most importantly, it requires a change in mindset. It's about seeing money not as a means to buy things, but as a tool to buy freedom. It's about understanding the true value of time and the freedom that comes with not having to trade it for money. This is the essence of the FIRE movement. It's not just about retiring early, it's about achieving financial independence, about gaining the freedom to live life on your own terms. Like Jane, you too can embrace the principles of the FIRE movement and embark on a journey towards financial independence and early retirement. After all, the only thing standing between you and your financial freedom is you.
Ever wondered how much you'd need to save to achieve financial independence? The answer lies within the mathematics of a concept known as FIRE, which stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. The most essential number in your journey to financial independence is calculated by multiplying your annual spend by 25. Notice the emphasis on annual spend, not annual income. This calculation is based on the principle that you need £300 invested for every pound you wish to spend each month in passive income. Hence, your FIRE number is also your monthly spend times 300. This mathematical principle is founded on the 4% safe withdrawal rate, as defined by financial advisor William Bengen. He proposed this rate after analyzing the S&P 500, which typically produces an average of better than 10% growth per year when studied over a period of approximately 30 years. Bengen considered factors such as inflation and market volatility. After studying previous market activity, he concluded that a 4% rate of withdrawal per year would provide for a 30-year sustainable portfolio in the vast majority of cases. So to paint a clearer picture, if your monthly spend is £1,000, then your target for financial independence is 300 times 1,000, or £300,000. Alternatively, if your annual spend is £12,000, your financial independence target is 25 times 12,000, which also equates to £300,000. The first step in planning your financial independence, therefore, lies in understanding your monthly and yearly expenditure. Without this knowledge, it is impossible to take further strides towards your financial freedom. In summary, the mathematics of FIRE revolves around the principle of multiplying your annual spend by 25 or your monthly spend by 300 based on the 4% safe withdrawal rate. Knowing your monthly and annual spend is crucial in determining the amount you need to save to achieve financial independence. Armed with this knowledge, you can then plan your journey towards financial freedom. Remember, the journey to financial independence is not a sprint, but a marathon. Embrace the mathematics of FIRE and take the first step towards your financial independence today.
Good morning, guys. It is 7:57 on Monday, the 24th of November 2025. So the market hasn't opened just yet today, but let's have a look and see how things looked at close on Friday. So if we look at the top right here, you'll see the market was trading at £95.26, and that's down 1.61%. At close, and actually, sorry, I should say that's not necessarily the price that it closed at, but the figure for the percentage drop at close will be correct. The actual figure, the value currently could have been affected during the weekend by normal foreign exchange fluctuation. Because that does happen even when the market's closed overnight. So that means, yeah, things have come back a little bit. Now, if we look at the red line at the top here, that shows you where the current market price is, and you'll see that obviously there's a bit of a gap there between that and the previous high peak. So although it has come back a little bit, it still hasn't actually come back quite as far as where it had previously been before Donald Trump's tariffs announcements. Now, there's a couple of things going on at present that I think could have an influence. I'm not saying that they are influencing it, but I think that they have the potential to influence it. There's been a lot of talk in recent days about the peace or potential peace process in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Suggestions certainly yesterday that the Russians and Americans had already kind of come up with a deal that it sounds as though the Russians would be happy with, and it kind of sounds as though the Ukrainians are probably going to be encouraged to accept. So whereas you might expect that the suggestion of the breakout of peace, if you like, over there might be good for markets, I would say yes, it might be, but at the same time, remember also that there are plenty of defense contractors on the stock market as well, and if there's a possibility that that may face lower demand for armaments and so on, that can actually change things too. Now, what else was I going to say about that? The there was another topic in my head that was also potentially going to affect the market, and that was that, well, quite simply, some traders don't like to hold over the weekend. Some traders seem to like to dump whatever stock they're holding early on a Friday afternoon, as far as I can tell. I have noticed that there does tend to be at times a bit of a dip on a Friday afternoon. You know, as I say, early enough in the afternoon, maybe 3:30, 4 o'clock, and it just seems as though some people seem to like to, in a sense, start with a blank sheet on a Monday morning and go from there. And basically view the market as a Monday to Friday only kind of a thing. At least that's how it looks to me. I don't know if that's completely accurate, but anyway. And then there's one other point that I was going to make as well, which has to do with the housing market. Now, I'm hearing from various sources that the housing market, not just here but internationally, has gotten very expensive. So whether that's to do with inflation pushing prices higher, and salaries just not quite keeping up, I'm not too sure. I know the rental market had already been pretty expensive before the latest inflation hit, and I think in general most people are finding their finances squeezed a little bit more than they used to be, but I think the the cost of borrowing is still pretty expensive, and that combined with higher house prices, partly driven by inflation, is not helping. All that to say, I am expecting a bit of a downturn, a pullback in the housing market. I don't know if it's going to be another one of these collapses. I suspect probably not so much, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a bit of a correction, as you might say. So in the meantime, the market has just opened there. I forget if I said already or not, but we are currently 3 years and 34 weeks into this financial independence journey, or financial independence experiment, if you like. And as I say, the market has just opened a short time ago. It is showing a 1% increase for today. Now, I'll be honest, at the start of the stream, the portfolio value was just below 30,000, but with that increase there, that has actually pushed it back up over the 30,000 again. So currently, the portfolio value sitting at 30,084. The return on investment 31.9%. There are 312 shares in the portfolio, and the average purchase price is $72.93. Before I go any further, let me draw your attention to Monzo.
I want a bank that makes money easy.
That sounds perfectly reasonable.
And you are?
We're a bank called Monzo.
I want a bank that shows me what I spend instantly.
No problem, just give us a go. See?
Can you make splitting bills easy?
Super easy, check this out.
But it's a real faff to sign up.
It takes less than 10 minutes.
Race you.
You're on.
Can I talk to a real person 24/7?
Of course.
Even now?
Yep.
Even now?
Anytime.
Can you tell me when I'm running a little low on cash?
We certainly can.
Cool. Can I afford these?
You certainly can't, sorry. can't afford that either.
That's a real shame.
Not really. Time's up. How'd you get on?
It's a draw.
Can you help me save for my next holiday?
Oh, how about you set up a savings pot in the Monzo app called Barbados, baby?
Thanks for listening, Monzo.
We're all ears.
We can go now.
Rude. You make Monzo Monzo.
Okay, so as you probably would have noticed there are affiliate links in the description for the video. There's actually 3 at present. One of them is for trading 212 to sign up and get some free shares. That does come with a health warning, and I don't want people to use that one unless you understand what you're getting into. You realize that you could get back less than what you put in, and you've already done your research and you've decided that you're going to get into investing anyway, and that you've also had a look at different platforms, and trading 212 is the one that you've chosen as being the right one for you. And the reason I say that, aside from the obvious risks, is that you want to be sure that you're on the platform that you're most comfortable with. There's no point in starting out on a platform which is not right for you. So that's the first one. The second one, I think, is for Monzo, and then the third one, if I remember rightly, is for Smarty Mobile. And obviously I use all 3 companies. I'm very happy with all 3 of them, otherwise I wouldn't promote them here. Right, normally at this point I have a look at the notifications, but I don't know if there are any. The display, the way this site is displaying currently, looks to me as if they've made some minor tweaks. I don't remember having this blue bar right across the top before. And normally if there are notifications, there's a little dot appears next to the notification bell. Now I don't know if that means that there aren't any, or if they've changed how it appears, but let's click on it anyway and we'll see. Okay, so it doesn't appear as if there are any notifications. I'll be honest, I find that strange, but that is the facts as we look at this. So as you can see here, the last purchase was done 6 days ago, so I was last live on Tuesday. I don't think I would have been able to do that tomorrow, so that's why I've chosen to go live today instead. But we're more or less at the week from the last broadcast, and I suppose it's also good to actually show the fact that the market had closed down just as much as it actually had. Obviously it has opened now and it has regained roughly half of that fall from Friday, as things stand. So with that said, let's go ahead and do this week's investment. Regular viewers will know that each week I invest £120 into the Vanguard S&P 500 exchange traded fund, and as I say, this is on the Trading 212 practice platform. That's what I use for this stream. So these are theoretical pounds, although the market data is correct, and at the current market value, £120 is going to buy us roughly 1.24 shares. Let's hit the review button. So as you can see, this is going to be a market buy. There are no stops or limits. The market is open, so execution will normally happen pretty quickly. We'll send it through, and we have had near instant execution there. We've bought almost 1.25 shares for £96.9p. And if I look at the figures on the right, I can see that they have updated. So the portfolio value, the new portfolio value is 30,160. The return on investment almost unchanged at 31.5%. We have now got almost 314 shares in the portfolio, and the average purchase price has just been pushed over into the £73 and 2p. Right, that is pretty much it, I think, for this morning. Let me just do that. If you have been watching, I would like to thank you for your attention. I hope you found it interesting and informative. If you want to follow the journey, hit the subscribe button. And if you particularly like this one, give it a thumbs up. I stream live every week, and I'll be back next week with more. Thanks for watching and have a good week.